Hi, guys. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight. This is my very first live stream ever, so I'm a little nervous. But I've seen a ton of people in the comments and familiar faces, so I'm so excited you guys could join me here today. I want to thank you so much for supporting us, and I just can't wait to see this Charge Across America rally, and I'm sure you're eager too. But let's hop right into this because the early birds get the worm. We've all heard that saying. And in this case, we're actually going to do a giveaway right now. So what I want you guys to do is start putting in the chat and tell me how you found out about the Miss GoElectric channel in there. And that is your entry into our giveaway. And the giveaway is a Charge Across America hat, plus a couple other little goodies from Miss GoElectric that'll be put in that shipping box anyway. So please go ahead and put it in the comments that where you found out about the Miss GoElectric channel, and that's your entry in. Tim is going to, my producer, put in the chat who is going to win and place it up on the screen here. So once we find out who that winner is, we actually will reach out to you. Make sure put your Instagram handle and your Twitter handle or your email in the chat box once we declare the winner. And then Tim, my producer, is going to reach out to you so that we can get that shipped off to you. Anyways, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, I want to just go over real quick what the Charge Across America rally was, because there are probably some people here that are watching tonight that are just supporting a bunch of people and don't really know exactly what the Charge Across America rally was all about. So basically what it was is it was 5 teams that were selected to do a EV rally 10 days across the country, starting from New York, in Brooklyn in specific, and going all the way to Los Angeles, California. Now, most people are familiar with, say, Tesla vehicles and their charging network. So what this was really about was getting a bunch of vehicles that were on a different network, which is what we call CCS, the Combined Charging System. And essentially, it's a different port than what we use from a Tesla vehicle. So what I use on my typical road trips is very different from what we used on this rally. And it's not to say that you can't do it in either, but this opportunity was very interesting because we had a wide variety of vehicles available. So what we are going to do tonight is we're going to go over a couple things, but I want to introduce you guys most importantly to Ryan eventually. But I want to make it clear before we move forward was that this rally was specifically designed for TV. So when I go on my road trips in the Tesla, I've never come under a situation where I've run out of charge or I've even gotten close to a low state of charge and been concerned to go across the country. So I don't want anyone to think that what we were doing is going to be kind of scary to them when it comes to EV adoption or taking a road trip in an EV. Because what we were doing was we were put under a lot of stress, as I'm sure that some of my contestants, my companions and competitors here can say in the chats that it was a very stressful time. And it wasn't necessarily because of the charging infrastructure. It was actually just because there was a lot of strategy involved and a lot of ways that you could get points. And we were intentionally put under pressure, not only from us strategically, but the cars were put under pressure because we would go to such a low state of charge that wasn't realistic for most people on an EV road trip. And also the last thing is that we weren't allowed to charge at hotels, which most people, when you're overnight charging at a hotel, that's what makes the road trip more enjoyable. So just to be clear, this is a gamified, made-for-TV show. It was a blast, but you know what? We all made it, and it was an experience that we'll remember for a lifetime. It's funny, I see Janice there in the comments. She's one of the contestants said, so much stress. But yes, it was so stressful because we were just competing so hard. But now I want to get to the introduction of my co-driver. And the reason why we're here tonight, for me at least, is because Ryan invited me for this. So, Ryan, looks like actually we've got our first winner. So let's talk about that before we bring Ryan in. Chris, He found out about Miss GoElectric at a truck stop in Texas. That's awesome. I hope you met us along the journey. Chris is one of our winner of the Charge Across America hat. And so, Chris, if you could put your Instagram or your Twitter handle in the comments, Tim, my producer, will fish that out and he will get situated with sending you information through the Miss GoElectric official channels. All right. Now let's introduce you guys to my co-driver, which is Ryan Levinson's from the Kilowatts.
Hello. How's it going?
Ryan! I'm great. How are you? Are you excited for tonight?
I am. Yeah, no, I keep on looking at my phone because there's only a few minutes left until it actually goes live, and we've not seen it yet. I'm excited. I know we've been told that we might get an early preview, but we haven't seen how it goes yet. We know how it goes on the back end, but I don't know how the show is going to portray it all.
Exactly. And that's what we're all really kind of anxious to see, because we shot this for 10 days straight, guys, and they had to cut it down to a 1-hour documentary. And including commercials, it's probably closer to about 40 minutes. So there's going to be a lot of information that they're going to cut out, which is why the post show is going to be fun, because we're going to be able to talk about all those Q&As and the things that we remembered versus what we saw on TV. But Ryan, can you just tell people a little bit of quick backstory, maybe 60 seconds, of how we ended up in a car together for 10 days straight on this EV rally?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll try to keep it quick. So, I mean, in simple, we both run different YouTube channels focused on EV education and information, consumer reports. And I have previously set the electric vehicle cannonball run record. I've done a lot of long distance driving, and I saw this actually. I think someone even mentioned that they saw your channel because of LinkedIn. I saw basically someone attempting a cross country rally on LinkedIn. So I reached out to them, made the connection, was offered the opportunity to join with the contingency of providing my own vehicle. And so I had the opportunity to then choose my co-pilot. Coming from my experiences mostly with Teslas, I was looking at my Tesla community thinking, some of these people would be great for various reasons, but at the end of the day, you had actually reached out to me and said, hey, where are the women at this event? I was at the Lucid event, and there were unfortunately only 5 YouTubers there, and none of them were female. And I was like, you make an absolutely great point. Not only that, your channel is the most aligned with my objectives. I want to just use my channel to highlight the best of electric vehicles, kind of provide that consumer insight independent of who makes them. And that seems to be the most parallel to what you do with your channel as well. So I reached out and said, hey, what if we did this together? And fortunately, the timing worked out where you were able to join me. And we had a great time out there. We met actually out in New York.
That's what was crazy about it, is we had never met in person before. So to stick us in a car immediately for 10 days straight, that was very interesting. And I would be lying if I was to say that there wasn't any tension, because it was an intense competition. But I think we held our own. But real quick, Ryan, go ahead.
I think we held our own, and I was surprised. Yes, there was tension. We definitely think about problem solving differently, but it also was very complementary. Once we found out how to work with each other, or how to be patient with each other, which was hard because sometimes we'd have like 45 minutes to the exit for the next charger, and I wanted to go one more. But yeah, we worked well together. And I'm really excited to see kind of how they show that on camera, because there might be those tension moments. Those might be more interesting, or they might make it sunshine and roses. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting for us to see the dynamic between the other drivers, because obviously we weren't in their car, so I'm excited to see that the most. Also, can you give us a quick briefing on how the Mustang Mach-E, so that was your car, and that's what we took on the competition. So some people don't know, though, not all the cars were provided by the Charge Across America folks. Ryan provided his Mustang Mach-E, which is a great road trip car. But can you give everyone kind of a little bit of an insight on how the Mach-E stacked up against the rest of the competition? Because there was a variety of vehicles out there.
Yeah. So high level, again, this was a rally, not a race. Our goal was just to kind of find a vehicle that was, well, not find. I mean, it was already the vehicle I owned. But if you were to try to find a vehicle for this, you want a long-range, fast-charging EV. And there's a couple great ones out there, but it was, in terms of the actual competition we had at the start line, there were 2 Taycans. And that was my biggest concern, because those have overall comparable range, but faster charging. And they also will charge deeper into their pack. So for those of you that are new to electric vehicles, obviously the electricity doesn't flow at the same rate continuously. At lower charge states, you get faster charge. At higher charge states, you slow down. With the Mustang Mach-E specifically, I believe still right now, at 80% state of charge, your charging goes from DC fast charging to AC. It slows down dramatically, basically to less than 1/5 of the speed that you'd have otherwise. So the Taycons have a charging advantage there. They taper off and they can leave quicker. Everything about charging was faster for them. That was my biggest concern at the start line. On top of that, there was a Polestar, which charges pretty well, and a Volkswagen ID4. And basically, I saw us on par with those. The Mach-E, well, it will peak out at 150 kilowatts. It jumps down to 125 and then 75 pretty quickly. The ID4 will hit 125 and maintain it longer than us. It was looking at the start line. I'm trying to do all this calculation and determine, do we even have a chance? And I felt like we were right in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, I felt like that too when we were starting off. And when Ryan's talking about like kilowatts and how fast that they charge, that was like the main concern for this whole race is how fast can we charge, and can we only charge to the exact amount that we need to get to the next charging station? And so people normally on a road trip are not going to do that, but that's why we were under so much pressure. The other thing is that, you know, not only we were put under pressure just because of that, but also just being on camera for extended periods of time. But the strategy, the strategic elements were so key. And I think when people initially think about this rally, they don't consider how in-depth the strategy was. And I really hope that they showcase that in the show tonight. And
well,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can I just briefly get into it?
We've got 2 minutes, so I'm going to wrap it up here, actually, and we're going to talk about it right after because we're coming back for the post show. But what I'm going to say to you guys right now is that we're going to leave this live stream rolling during the airing of the show, and I'm going to come in during the commercial breaks, and I'm going to chat with you guys on the in the chat box and just talk about what we're seeing here. And when we come back, we're going to go over not only a live Q&A from the questions that you guys have in the comments here, but we're going to talk about the results. We're going to talk about like who's winning this $10,000 grand prize, because ultimately that's what's on the line here. And I want you guys to meet all the contestants on here because they're really amazing. So
they are, yeah.
Stay tuned. You can leave this live stream on, keep in the chats, and we'll see you here pretty soon. All right. Hey guys, welcome back. Wow, what a finish, right? We won. This is so awesome. Thanks for tuning in for this post show. First and foremost, I just want to pop something up on the screen here. And that is just a quick little victory lap for us since, here we go. Ryan and I were the winners of the Charge Across America EV Rally. Luckily, our Ford Mustang Mach-E pulled out as much as it could against the two Porsche Taycans, which are significantly more expensive vehicles. So I was just so impressed by this vehicle. And man, Ryan, thanks so much because you're such a good teammate. It was so stressful, and every ounce of strategy was needed in order to win it in the end. But what I want to talk about now is, man, obviously there were a lot of things cut out because it was a 10-day shoot and it was only an hour show. So as you can imagine, while we're watching it, we're like, wow, there's a lot missing there. And I just really, really hope that the production company that's putting it together, they did such a great job with this, but I really hope they can sell the extended cut version because I want you guys to see all of the strategy that was involved and even more stress that was involved just by deciding what we needed to do every day. But yeah, let's get into it because I want to introduce you to some of the people that were on this show, which I'm sure you fell in love with some of them here. And first and foremost, gosh, I got a lot of them here in the bank. So let's introduce the second place finishers, our big competition, the Neon Nomads, Brad and Amanda. Hi, guys.
Hi. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for joining us tonight. So I want to ask you guys first, and then I'm going to bring in some of the other competitors. But, you know, it was some stiff competition.
Yeah.
What was the first big thing that you noticed that you wish was portrayed on the show? But we know that there were so many things that needed to get cut out for this.
I don't know. I think from our perspective, it was portrayed fairly well.
Honestly, I think the things that were missed out on were the things that weren't caught on camera. Like every night when things finished up, like the fun we all had, like we went out to a dive bar in Pittsburgh and ordered pizza on the bartender's cell phone. It was so much fun. And like we all got to be really great friends and it was just a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It was, I think the best part of the experience for me was meeting all of you guys and making new friends. So, but the next person I want to bring in is, let's see here, the mom and son duo that actually ran out of charge. That's Who's in Charge, which was Craig with Flying Wheels and Janice, his mother. Hey, guys. There we go.
Hey, hi everyone. Good to see you all again.
Welcome, guys. If you guys have any questions in the chat, please put those up there because we want to talk about all the stuff that you saw and the questions that you have because there was a lot going on there, especially with Craig and Janice when they ran out of charge. Can you just give us a quick, because I remember you telling us that day after that happened, you were specifically saying, I remember someone telling me that, the range specifically would give me more than what it was reading. And that's why you guys really took that chance, wasn't it?
I did not say that.
I think we misunderstood Brad.
Yeah, it was just a mistranslation of.
We thought, maybe we could go a little past the 0 mark, and it's not true. You cannot.
Don't do that. And that's another point, though, to stress is that what we were doing was very impractical. We were literally trying to get down to 1% state of charge and arrive at the charging station because that's when you get the fastest charge. So like they were saying in the show, anything over 100 is good. But with the charging curve of what your vehicle can take, if you're at a 70% state of charge, you're not going to get that peak charging rate of over 100 or 150 in our case with the Mustang Mach-E. So that's what most of us were doing. And you guys just unfortunately fell short in that case because you were trying to make it with as little range as possible to get to the next charge.
We had also overcharged day one. and we just didn't know our car well. So it took us a couple days to learn the car, learn how everything works. So the second half, you actually started seeing us pull ahead in those first place victories because my mother and I kind of got on the same page with each other and with the car.
Well, what you also don't see is that we were actually an hour ahead of everybody before we ran out of charge.
Yeah.
So had we got just that little boost, we never even thought about little boosts like you and Ryan did those little boosts just to get you to that next spot. And that was day 2. We didn't know anything about anything. So it was definitely learning curve on our end.
Yeah, if you remember, Mom, we sat on the side of the road for so long. It was an hour before we even saw the next competitor pass us on the highway.
We should have won that day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so this is an interesting question that we have up here. How was it decided what vehicles were participating? So actually, Craig and Janice, Craig bought a Porsche Taycan specifically for the rally because he has a YouTube channel called Flying Wheels. And so he created some content around that, but he specifically bought the vehicle to be a part of the race. Our vehicle, the Mustang Mach-E, was actually Ryan's car. So he brought that. Whereas, Brad and Amanda, where did you get your Porsche?
We were actually loaned it from Porsche Cars North America because I'm a automotive writer and run a site called Flat Sixes. It's a Porsche blog. So reached out to them and said, hey, this sounds like fun. Can we do this? And Porsche was like, yeah, it sounds great. Oh, it's going to be on TV? Yeah, of course you can have a car for 10 days. So.
Got a little help from your friends. Yeah. And then the Volkswagen, I believe that was loaned through a dealer partner that was actually a sponsor of the rally. And then the Polestar 2 was a Turo rental until unfortunately it had some technical issues. And then actually, it looks like I'm going to bring in CJ right now to talk about that because CJ's in the bank here waiting to chat. Hey, CJ.
Hi, CJ.
Hey,
What's up?
CJ.
Can you guys hear me? I just plugged in.
We can hear you.
Oh, this is good. Technology is working for me for once. That's great. Yeah, I had some great luck on the rally. So, no, good seeing you guys.
So tell us exactly what was happening with your Polestar 2 when that happened, because you guys had to end up swapping that out and got into the Audi e-tron.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, we were hitting it hard that day. We were sitting pretty, 3rd place. We were feeling pretty good. Already kind of feeling the effects of the Polestar in the limited range, but we were optimistic. So we plugged into a charger and we're just like, oh, that's weird. Like, it went from about 148 down to about 6. And so we're like, all right, forget this charger. Let's move on to the next one. Plug it in again. We're getting 6. Called Electrify America. They're like, well, if you're not getting over 10, you're technically not even getting a charge. That's just what the screens will read. So at that point, we tried every single charger, sat there, watched everybody pass us. Even Andrew came with the pod and tried to charge. And from there, it was like, okay, well, we can't make it to another charger. We can make it to a Volvo dealership. And that's what we essentially decided to do after speaking with everyone from the crew, and that seemed like the best plan of action. I think if I had it to do over again, take out the emotions, I would have probably tried some more fixes. I was on the phone with Polestar. They had us try a couple of things to reset the car, but it just would not charge.
Yeah, that was a huge bummer. And actually, that day, all of us were at the same exact charger. We rolled in like one right after the other. So it was super, super intense. And when we saw you guys having some issues, we were nervous because we were like, man, I hope no one else has any issues to this extent where, it might take them out of the competition. And we really wanted to make sure that
just a few hours later.
Yeah, and then a few hours later, so one portion of the show that they didn't really go too deep into was there was one station in Salina, Kansas where, they showed that Brad was sitting there with the Porsche for a while, but we were all having charging issues there. It was throwing codes and stuff like that, and unfortunately,
charging super slow when you could get it to charge. And I think
Exactly.
prior to you guys showing up, we only saw like 60 kilowatts. So it was like not working even when it was working.
And the reality is that station was in the middle of Kansas, in the middle of nowhere, and there wasn't another fast charging station within like 100 miles. So what our goal was with this was man, we really need more rural fast charging stations available, because really the only provider that was available on that route was Electrify America. If the other providers like EVgo or ChargePoint would have had some chargers there, we could have moved on and you wouldn't have had such a fatal issue there. All right, so guys, I want to bring in some of my favorite people. I mean, you're all my favorite people, but Dennis is waiting too, and I want to introduce you guys to him because him and Don were just a hoot for this whole trip. Hi, Dennis. Dennis, I was worried that you would not be able to work your phone to get this all situated. There's Don. Hi, Don.
Hi.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you guys.
So these two, Don and Dennis, actually what they didn't show in the series was that you guys had a special little helper in the background helping you out, right?
Yes, we did. Actually, Jeannie was at home the whole way. We did the whole phone a friend thing, and she hates being on camera.
So that's his girlfriend, and they would call every day and say, "Where do we need to go?" And she would do all this researching on the charging stations, right?
Yep, and she would do the mapping out, and Dennis had a friend out west that he also called. So the apps weren't really working well for us, possibly because of user error. So we were relying on that big map at home on the actual computer. So, and of course, I got to give away a few of these the whole time as well.
Yes. So this is the famous Don Brady coin. So if you get a Don Brady coin, this is worth a lot because that just means that you have. There you go. Show it nice and big and proud.
Everybody got a Don Brady coin.
That they earned it, though, I would say. Don, tell us what the Don Brady coin was all about.
Oh no, Dennis does not want to hear that tonight.
Well, the biggest surprise, and you were going to ask me that, Lacey, the biggest surprise from the show is that I thought we won. So how did they edit that out, Don?
I don't know. We had at least 3 first place wins, though, I think.
What?
That's Hollywood, boys.
It was fascinating because, you could win one day in the standings, but then the next day you could be completely last. And for the most part, people that were completely last, what they would do is that they would stay and charge pretty much as full as they possibly could so that they could put themselves at a great advantage for the next morning. And so there were a lot of times like when you guys, Don and Dennis, would get first place, but then you would sit in the middle of the pack on other days. So it was really interesting, especially with the double points days, how it was going to play out because they just threw those in as curveballs. But I have a question up here on the screen here. What does a charge cost? Now, each of our vehicles can take a different amount, and it really just depends on how long you want to stay for a charge. But, like, for example, if we were going to charge, say, up to 80% for our vehicle, which is like 180 plus, close to 200 miles, usually it's somewhere between like a $15 and $20 range, but it also just depends on what area you're in because utilities charge different, just like, gas. Different parts of the country, you're going to get a different charge for utility and different networks charge differently. So it really just depends.
Well, we were lucky enough that Electrify America gave us 3 years of free charging.
Yeah, you guys had that too, didn't you,
That
Brad
was part
and
of our strategy.
Yeah.
The
Plug charge
Volkswagen
for
94 does the
Hyundai,
same
I
thing.
think, is 3 years free.
So the Brad and Amanda's had 3 years free. So did Craig and Janice's, and Don and Dennis. Since yours was a Volkswagen, the ID4 also got free for Electrify America, right?
Yes.
No.
Which
three
is-
No, we
years.
paid. Did we, Don?
Yeah, we got 3 years free on the Volkswagen too.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Yeah.
What were we charging on our credit card?
Well,
Was that into your
we
account?
were using that, but then we got some really nice shirts for Las Vegas.
That you did. I wish I had a picture of that to show you guys right now because they had custom shirts made that were really fancy for Las Vegas.
Well, we had to pay our media guy too. Did you see some of the media stuff that he produced? It was pretty cool.
No, I did. Oh, yes. The caricatures.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
every single stop we would go to, Don had a guy create a caricature of each one of them with the backdrop of that city. So like Las Vegas was like big lights and everything, and it was just like their cute little caricature faces on tiny little bodies. It was hilarious. All right, let's pull up some more questions. Hey, Kyle. Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us for the post show. Please put your questions in the chat because we want to answer some of the questions you guys might have had watching the show. Expected Craig and some Lulu, kind of disappointed. Reed is picking on you, Craig.
I was hoping Craig would show up in his Winnie the Pooh smoking jacket.
Yes.
I can't believe I did not think of that. It's sitting right next to. It's sitting on my chair upstairs. See, there's so many things that didn't make the cut, including the Winnie the Pooh jacket.
Yeah, and just FYI, like the production company is going to try to sell an extended version of it to a streaming platform, and hopefully that happens because I feel like there's so much that we could take in with that. What happened with the law? Oh, Craig, do you want to talk about your speeding ticket?
No.
We also got pulled over though, didn't you?
Listen, in Colorado, just outside of Colorado Springs, if you're ever traveling through there is a speed trap.
Simla, Colorado.
I know. I just sent in my driving record to them today because I can't appear, but I'm contesting. The speed limit goes from 65 to, Mom, what was it, 35?
35. With
literally
no
around a turn. So you come around a turn, it's a highway, and then all of a sudden you're in a town, and as soon as you get around that turn, there is a speed limit sign and a police officer waiting to pull people over. And I'll let CJ attest to that.
Oh no, we were like right behind you, so we like drove like right past these guys, like as this whole thing was unfolding. But we got stopped in Hays, Kansas for a left lane violation, which is not something you deal with on really the east and the west coast. So we literally got stopped for doing 5 over and driving the left lane, which was not fun either. So when you get out west, it's a little dicey as we came to find out. I just can't believe you got that ticket. That was so expensive.
Looks like Ryan's in the chat. Hey, Ryan. Woo, he's got the check.
Hey, guys.
Did you get a lap?
Tell her to do one more lap.
Shiny?
One more lap.
Very shiny.
Who would win if everyone had the same vehicle?
Who's in charge?
That is an interesting question because, I mean, who do you guys think? I mean, Brad and Amanda, let's start off first with you guys.
I mean, obviously we would have won. No, I'm
okay.
kidding.
Is everyone just going to claim this
I
up?
think
You
if
can't claim
everyone was in
yourself.
the same car, it probably would have been an even closer race, closer than 2 points.
Well, now that we all know what we know, I would be way closer
Absolutely.
on everybody's.
Absolutely.
It could have been anybody's game.
Yeah.
That was what was amazing. You would have finished. You would say that, Dennis.
Right, Don? We'd have finished 4th. It seemed a comfortable spot.
At least 4th.
Yeah.
That was what was so interesting about this too, is that I don't even think the people that created the show realized what the car's capabilities were and how that would play into it and what the experience level. So like I feel like Don and Dennis should have been in the Porsche, and well, CJ has a little bit of experience with electric cars. So I think it was probably safe to say that Craig and Janice should have had the Porsches as well. But yeah, I mean, they could just pull such a great charging rate because their car is just more expensive. So
we were dialed in at the end. I mean,
when we could actually find
California
350s that didn't have Mach-E's plugged into them.
Yeah, we were actually gaining mileage on the way to pulling into LA. We were just watching our mileage climb once we figured out how the car worked.
We were the master of the draft.
Yeah. Or hypermiling, as Ryan called it.
Yeah. And to that point, you guys all became EV nerds who weren't. I mean, Brad and Amanda, they own an EV, so they are familiar with it. But Don and Dennis, CJ and John, and Janice and Craig all became EV nerds. It was amazing.
Very embraced. Very proud.
But now, would you consider an EV? Would you guys consider buying an EV now?
I don't know, Lacey. What have we been talking about? I actually have been talking to CJ too, and I'm in the market for a Mach-E.
Yeah, if it wasn't $1,000 right now and like 5 over sticker, I'd be getting one too. But it's the market's not there right now. But yeah, absolutely, would definitely feel a lot more comfortable buying one.
I went and test drove a lot of them, and I say, but no to the Nissan Leaf.
No. Well, you live in New Hampshire, so you need all-wheel drive and something that's a little bit more sitting up.
I hear the Aria is pretty good.
I hear so too. I saw it at the Autopia.
I was actually
29.
listening to a podcast today, and I think I might be going towards the Ionic.
The Ionic 5?
Ionic 5, yeah, that's a cool
That'd
car.
be a great choice. Really great choice.
I
Don
really
and Dennis,
dig
what would you pick, Don and Dennis?
I think it's too soon for any of these. I stay Tesla for a while.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan, you have a Tesla. You did the EV cannonball and broke the record in a Tesla.
Yeah, I don't know what was said for the first 10 minutes of this after party, but the Tesla, I mean, we had one as a production crew, and obviously they did get to charge at night, but they didn't have any problems charging. And Teslas are phenomenal, and the infrastructure is phenomenal. A lot of these cars are comparable now to Tesla, with the exception of infrastructure. We all experienced some of that.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, looks like we have another
on
question.
The show itself, it's interesting. As an amateur just looking at it, that was set up as a pilot. I don't think they should have a problem selling that as a series somewhere. That was really set up as a pilot and just tickled all the additional stories that they can, cover an episode. So I thought that was pretty smart.
Yeah,
I hope so. The depth was not there. There's so many more stories. I mean, they got the Craig and Janice story in there about the scavenger hunt, which was good, but even then there was more depth to that story.
Oh, we were there for 2.5 hours. They gave us like 2 seconds.
Speaking of seconds, I can't believe that it came down to 40 seconds. At the very end of the very last day, we were only
CJ and
40
John,
seconds behind CJ and John.
Oh, I never even thought about that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I hadn't thought about that.
So we took a wrong turn and went south on the highway.
So we lost
I
like 2
didn't
minutes.
realize how significant that was.
And we didn't even stop. We didn't even do the special stop. We didn't do food. That was like we had to gun and push everything, and we ran our car to almost zero doing it, and you were still only 40 seconds behind us with the wrong turn. So that shows that whole situation.
Wow.
Oh man, I didn't realize it was that down to the wire. I knew that our punch
I didn't
times
either until the show.
I knew our punch times were like 8 minutes apart from Brad and Amanda, and that was all I knew. I didn't realize, because if you guys would have leapfrogged us, you would have taken the cake, because you would have had that extra 2 points.
It would have been 2 points, and we would have been tied.
Yep.
0 points.
It's crazy. All right, so I have a question here. What are you guys going to do with the money? Ryan, answer.
Go to Disney
Showing
World.
off the check. Yeah, go to Disney World.
He spent it on laminating the check.
What am I going to do with the money? Well, I've kind of already done it, and I don't love parts of this, but we sold the Mach-E. The Mach-E was great, but right before the race, right before the rally, we decided, or we got a notification that it was under recall, safety recall. And the reason why we have so many cars, we've got several Teslas and this Mustang Mach-E, is because we rent them out on Turo. And Ford basically said we'll be able to fix that sometime next year. I can't afford that. So I ended up actually selling it, listed it to Vroom. And then actually the day before it was supposed to be picked up by Vroom, Tesla reached out and said, hey, your Model S that you ordered on January 20th is now available. So part of this went into my down payment for a Model S, and we traded in the Mach-E. Again, Mach-E is phenomenal. I do wish the infrastructure was slightly better, but now we're going to, and we actually already have this Model S, and it's already on its very first rental this week. So a $2,000 revenue from that rental again, part of the down payment went into that car.
That helps your business. So for those of you guys don't know, the Kilowatts, they rent out a series of vehicles on Turo, and most of them are Teslas. Now they're all Teslas because the Mach-E's gone off the fleet. But for me, what you're seeing here with this live stream is some of the money that I put towards like boosting up my channel so that I can do more EV advocacy, because that's what I'm really passionate about. So I want to educate more people on electric vehicles and get to a point where we can really push for better infrastructure, because I think we all saw in this documentary, and we don't want to scare people off from adopting electric vehicles. We want more people to join the community. And what is just satisfying after this experience is talking to all of you guys in the group and hearing you guys like actually shopping for an electric car now, even though that the show was really stressful and some of us had some bad experiences. Like, that just is so rewarding to me that you came away and are deciding to move forward with the electric lifestyle. You're all EV nerds now. I love it.
Another thing that the show didn't talk about is that there was a prize for third. So we did win $5,000, and they don't say it. They show it a check at the end, but they didn't say that, third place is going to win. So Greg and I did get the 5,000, and I took some of my winnings and I donated it to Breeze Gifts, who was our donation when we had to do it on location there. And the rest of it I used as a down payment on a camper.
Nice.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
I would definitely stay at hotels and charge overnight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was one of the big, I would say, disadvantages of this rally was, typically when you're doing an EV road trip, you're charging at the hotels overnight and topping up so that you have a full charge when you leave in the morning. And we could not do that because we had to charge only when we were punched in the clock. So, yeah, I'm with you, Don. I would definitely be always charging because that's what I'm used to doing even when I'm road tripping in my Tesla. So, yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's move on. What is everyone's daily driver? Let's start with Brad and Amanda.
I have a 2011 Leaf.
She's like, we have so many cars.
Yeah, I mean, we have like 8 cars, I think. But my daily is a 2011 Leaf.
Yeah.
Yep. The Nissan
mine
Leaf.
is a Buick Regal Tour X. It is not electric, but the plan is to upgrade me to something that is either full EV or plug-in hybrid within the next year or two.
Awesome. What about you, Janice and Craig?
I drive a 2015 Hyundai Santa Fe, and that's kind of like, I just wanted to give a shout out to Kyle Connor because he is the reason why I'm going towards the Hyundai, because I listened to his podcast today. So
That's
shout out
awesome.
to him.
Yes.
Wow.
So for those of you who don't,
nerds now.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Watching Kyle Connor. So for those of you who are watching that don't know Kyle Connor, he runs Out of Specs and he is a contributor regularly on Inside EVs. He's got some great videos, so definitely go check him out. And Craig, what about you? What do you drive?
Mine varies day to day. I miss my Taycan. I did end up selling it in LA and I flew home, so I haven't seen that in quite a while, and I grew attached to it in those 10 days for 10 hours a day. But the vehicles vary by day. Yesterday, it was a 6-door 96 Cadillac Fleetwood limousine. And today it was a Duramax plow truck. So it varies day by day. I guess opposite of EV in both of those.
Wide variety.
Mm-hmm.
And now, Ryan, what about you? What do you daily drive?
I drive whatever Tesla is not on rental, and if all the Teslas are on rental, I will either rent or, at least around town here, I'll just use a little electric one-wheeled skateboard. So,
yeah, some people don't even need cars. You're in San Francisco, so getting around on a one wheel is just fine.
With no helmet, I noticed yesterday in your Instagram story, Ryan.
Tisk tisk.
Sometimes.
All right, Don, what's your daily driver?
All right, I probably have the funniest one. I have a Dodge Ram 2500 ProMaster, big white van with my big face on the side of it, and Ship Your Car Now all over it.
Are you doing the point?
I'm doing the pointing, and I also have coins readily available.
No,
I believe that. The coins, Dennis. Dennis, what do you daily drive?
I drive a Lexus SC 430.
All right, nice.
Did it make it to you, Dennis?
Well, yeah, funny you mentioned that, Don. Just about a couple hours ago.
Okay, I was worried.
Oh, because Don shipped his car. Because Don is a part of Ship Your Car Now. So if you ever need to move a car from one place to the next, go to Ship Your Car Now, and Don will hook you up.
Absolutely.
Technology and the staff is awesome. I mean, it's just really seamless. So, shameless plug.
Thank you.
So someone actually said everyone share their social media. I'm actually going to put it in the description of the video too, so that everyone can follow everyone. All right. Lastly, CJ, what's your daily driver?
The 2018 Ford Escape, but I'm only in that for about another 90 days. So like Janice was saying, I've been EV shopping pretty aggressively. Obviously, I want to stay on brand because I work at a Ford dealer. So the Mach-E is definitely something that I've been interested in. But I mean, with the chip shortage and, you know, all you guys know, it's just prices are not friendly right now. So we'll see what I'm going to do. I don't know. Ford has a good plan to extend. So we'll see. But I definitely, I've been looking at the Polestar. It's like $450 a month. So we'll see. It was just so much fun to drive. It's like a little sports car. It's got the hatchback. I mean, I did grow attached to that car, and John like still messages me just randomly, dude, I wish we still had the Polestar. So
It's a nice car.
yeah,
It is.
yeah.
We might get one actually. Yeah.
Brian, you said you might get one?
Yeah, we were just at the Polestar dealership looking at the pre-sipped prototype, and we might actually get a Polestar 2 to rent out as well, because you know it's pretty comparable to anything else out there. My mind goes to the Model 3. It's pretty comparable, and so you know it's a great car.
So we're going to wrap it up because it is getting late for most of you guys. It's probably bedtime. It's way past my bedtime, but I want to send everybody off. If you guys have final words, we'll start with Brad and Amanda.
Wish we hadn't made that wrong turn.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
It was just an absolute blast. My favorite part was definitely not to be cheesy, but the friends we made along the way. And it's great to see everyone's faces again. So
Yeah.
So true. We need a real in-person reunion. That's for
We're
sure.
heading to Michigan
next
right now.
year. Yeah. Oh, yep, we are.
Yes. Let's hang. Woohoo. Okay, Janice and Craig, any last words?
I had a ball. If you ask me along the way, it was the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life. But every day, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about you guys and the experiences that we had.
You guys were all amazing to meet, and I had so much fun with you. And one thing that really stands out is I sold my mom on coming on this show by saying she didn't want to do it originally. And I had said to her, when you're 80, are you going to remember the 10 days you worked or the 10 days you traveled the country with your son for a television show? And I'm really happy you came with me and were by my side for this. I think we made a great team.
We did.
Got that third place, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan?
Yeah,
My co-driver.
Yeah, thank you again for joining me. I wish they'd shown my little speech at the end, just appreciating how much kind of you and being my teammate played a difference in the whole show. Overall, I just at this point I just want to see more of it. I hope that you all get to see more of what happened behind the scenes. There were so many great stories, so many great moments with all of you, and so yeah, I just at this point my mind only goes there as to what else can we share from this, because it was really fun and special. So I don't really have last words other than we are going to make one little YouTube video hopefully by the end of the week to kind of recap some of the other stories. And if you guys have any other things you want that you really want to highlight, let me know and we'll try to include that, just like this live stream is helping. But yeah, just really the moments and the memories are what will stay with me. The ones that even they didn't show will be the ones that stay with me.
Absolutely. All right, Don, you're up.
I can't believe that they left out the scariest moment of my life when we were at 0% and coasted into, and we coasted in, so we made it. We didn't get stuck. And then
we had that too.
My friends that I met, all you guys over the 10 days, actually gave me a package of underwear at the finish. I still can't believe it. I like them. Thank you again. But it surprised me, and that was a scary moment for me. But we made it. So
we all did it. And CJ, wrap it up for us.
Yeah. So I took this show totally last minute. I got the invite 7 days before shooting began, so it was an adjustment and I was a little nervous about it, but I'm really glad I did, and I learned something from each and every one of you. And I feel like one of the biggest parts missing from the show was just kind of going more into all your backgrounds. You're all so unique, you all have such amazing personalities, and it was such a blast to take away this experience with all you guys. And I learned more from you guys than I did driving. So it was very educational, and just thanks for the good time. Hope to see you guys again.
We have to do it soon, please. Thank you guys all for joining me. I really appreciate it. This is your contestant group by competitors from the Charge Across America rally. Really appreciate you guys joining us for the live stream. And man, let's just cross our fingers and hope they can get that extended cut because I want to watch it again.
Great job, Lacey. Merry Christmas.
Thanks,
Yeah, good
guys.
job, Lace.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for
Happy
doing this for all of us.
holidays.
Yeah, Merry Christmas,
Absolutely.
guys.
And thank all of you guys for joining us for this first live stream. I've never done a live stream before, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you can think of something that you want to put in the comments on, how we can improve, let us know. Otherwise, look in the description below because there's going to be a whole list of those social media handles for all of the people that you saw on the show today. So go ahead and follow them because they're doing some amazing things, and especially in the EV world now. So thank you guys all for watching. Thank you. We did it. We won. So lastly, before I go, I have a couple more giveaways. So those of you who are still watching, go ahead and throw your hands up in the chat because I got a couple more things to give away. Congratulations for first place. Kyle hooked me up. Amazing. Seth here. So Seth said hi. Seth, we're going to send you a Charge Across America hat. So I have a couple more of these. Raise your hand. Okay, Kyle Callahan is my last one. We're going to send you guys a Charge Across America hat and also some other swag that are going to be a little special surprise in the box. So please put your handle, your information in on the comments so that my producer Tim can reach out to you through our official channels and get you situated and ship along the special prizes for you guys. Really, really appreciate you guys watching tonight. I can't say it enough. So thank you. And hopefully we can do this a little bit more often. Until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.
Thanks, Lacey. Nice work. That was awesome.